And good Friday morning. Is it a TGIF day here?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And welcome to the Friday edition of Live and Local Real Talk here on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. You can also stream us if you get out of your car or turn your radio off. You can stream us online, WSME971.com. We got a new home. We're on YouTube. We got our own YouTube channel, thanks to Lee and getting that thing set up. You can find that. Just go to youtube.com and say, search for Live and Local Real Talk and take you right to where we are right now.
Yes.
So, anyway, we did that because of the Facebook censorship we were having.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a little bit more than that, but that's okay.
Yeah. And it allows us to do a lot more, and we'll have a little bit more freedom here, and the quality is a bit better too. It's the audio and video are not compressed beyond belief. Video actually looks a whole lot better than it did on Facebook. So how's that sound? And also, we don't get that little breakup and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. It wasn't us; was Facebook.
Yes, it was. And we're still working on this, and we'll eventually be adding enhancements to our channel
We will.
where we'll be able to do the regularly streamed commercials that are on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
The banner for our channel will look different. It's a lot of work, but we're
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah, you can do it. You get the know-how.
And if for some reason right now your channel says waiting for stream, just go look. There is a live one working right now. So
Yeah.
just go to your main page on YouTube and you'll see it.
I don't know what that means.
I do. YouTubers know.
I'm not a YouTuber, apparently, right? I'm just trying to work this way through that because if there are people like me out there, which I assume that there are, I guess they'll find out. I do not see us streaming live. Yes, I do. There we go.
Yes.
Right there.
Right there.
I just did it.
Mhm.
Hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. Let's see what's going on in the news. Some potentially tragic news averted yesterday afternoon, last evening. I got up there in New York. A Republican, Lee Zeldin, some guy attacked him while he was at a campaign deal talking about bail reform.
People are crazy.
Yeah, came at him, and he was a little bit irritated that I guess the gentleman was talking about bail reform. He's running for re-election. The guy held for the sheriff's office, the folks to get there. He's 43 years old. He was charged with attempted assault in the second degree. And as Zeldin predicted, he would be released without bail. And he was released on his own recognizance. When you try to stab a congressman or anybody else, and they release you on your own recognizance without bond, without bail money, without nothing, something is wrong in your state. Something is wrong with the system.
Absolutely.
So that kind of stuff, it ain't going to happen here. It better not happen here.
What surprises me is how the laws vary state to state.
Well, yeah.
It's surprising. You can go to California and walk into a jewelry store and smash the counters, grab your jewelry, and go off.
As long as it doesn't reach $1,000.
Well, you can be arrested, but they don't make you pay bail. They just
Nope.
release you and come back
Yep.
when it's time for court.
Yep. Yeah, well, maybe or maybe not. That's kind of like catch and release at the border,
Right.
and they say, we'll have a hearing for you to listen to you why you want to stay in the United States. We'll notify you. Where are you going to be? Who knows?
Who knows where you're going to be?
And if you can't reach them, you can't
Well,
hold them
now-
responsible for not showing up, can you?
Would you sit around and wait? I mean, if
Oh,
you
yeah,
really
I-
wanted to go,
I would do it. I'd be, if I had all, I'd be out there looking for another jewelry store so I could smash the windows and stuff too, to glass. If there are no consequences for our actions, then why would we not continue acting?
that's what I'm getting at. It's just like
There-
all the stop and rob things they had happen in California, and they just let them go.
Yep.
I can
irritated.
guarantee you, try that around here. See what happens.
And I'm not sure about some of our political folks out there anyway. The reelection campaign for a guy, he's a Democrat, Frank Mervyn, representative from Indiana. He spent the campaign political contributions, he spent about $4,000, a little bit over that they've counted so far, on flights for his wife and seat upgrades during the past year. This is while he's running for reelection. This is from the Federal Election Commission.
So he spent his campaign money on that?
Yeah, for her to
And-
fly back and forth to Washington from Indiana and wherever else she went.
Oh, my.
He's
Must be
represented
nice.
the Indiana's first congressional district since taking office last year. He's doled out $4,012 that they found so far through his campaign on flights to and from Washington for his wife, Jane, including seat upgrades from July last year until May of this year.
Must be nice to be so special.
On those FEC filings, the Election Commission filings, it's at what it says is Jane to DC, Jane from DC, Jane to DC seat upgrade, time and again and again. Really? Really?
It just amazes me how people that have been elected to office can abuse the amenities that are afforded to
Well,
them
you know
at
what?
our expense.
Forget about it. What's all the fuss anyway? What's the big deal? Politicians and entertainers really they don't have to follow the rules, do they? Is there
Obviously
anything
not.
written on the books anywhere that says politicians and entertainers have to follow the rules that the rest of us follow? Kelly, show me one. Show me a rule. I'm hearing crickets over here.
Yeah.
She'll show you when she gets to Dumb Crook
You
News
mean
today.
you mean a rule that politicians have to follow that they don't? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, just find me a rule that says politicians and entertainers have to follow the rules that rest of us have to follow or should be following.
Well, I think it's an unwritten rule.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
You can't go to the judge with that. Unwritten rules.
No.
Well, if you want to buy and sell stock before
Mhm.
the public is aware, if you
Yeah.
want to get a DWI several times.
Well, Miss Pelosi.
oh,
well,
did I
know,
even mention
she-
her name?
Oh, she said, it's not that big a deal. And did you provide him with your husband with some information, insider trader type information that you knew about because of your position?
Right. Yeah.
How, Nancy, are you awake?
Yes.
Wake up, Nancy.
Hey, honey, roll over. I have something to tell you.
I'm talking. I may have been talking. That's what it
But
was.
we have to whisper. The house might be bugged.
I was talking in my sleep. Maybe I
Yes.
talk in my sleep
That
and
was
maybe he
it.
overheard it.
See, there you go. She
See?
was completely unaware.
She didn't know what she was saying
Well, we
then
have
or even when
Oh.
she's awake.
a congressman from North Carolina that was being investigated for the same thing. Whatever happened to that? That went hush.
Yeah. Well, likely it'll pop back up.
Well, I mean, he's out as of what, January?
January, yes.
Yeah. So he
He's
is such
gone.
an embarrassment. I feel so bad for the people in the mountain area that are in his district.
I
They
know.
elected him, didn't they?
I think, well, a lot of them did. They regret. They
That's just
definitely
too bad.
regret that. Yeah.
How about all the people that voted for Biden?
Yeah.
Hey, anybody vote for Biden?
It's hard to get people to admit they voted for Biden.
Did
though.
anybody vote for Biden, and would you vote for him again? It's a simple question. And I'm not going to bash you. I'd just like to know why. Either way, why did you vote for Biden in the first place? Was it because you were an anti-Trumper?
A lot of people were, yeah.
Right, I know.
Right.
Republicans alike. Okay,
Right.
that's what got him elected. There's no way he could have been elected by nothing but Democrats.
Right.
There ain't enough of them.
Well, it's
So, again, did you vote for Biden in 2020? And if he's available to run in 2024, would you vote for him again? And if not, who would you like to have from the Democrat side?
absolutely.
910-333-0139. That's the question on the table this morning. Did you vote for him in 2020 for Mr. Biden? And would you vote for him again? And if not, who would you rather see in his place as a Democrat candidate?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody, I do not believe even the most diehard Democrats out there want to see Kamala Harris run.
Well,
That,
I
that,
imagine
that,
she's back in DC today, standing by since Joe has COVID. Oh, so she's probably, well, I'm not even going to say.
and where did you get, how did he get it? Would you see the news conference?
I would say he
Anything
got
about
it
that?
on his travels to Europe.
Probably.
Yes.
That's
Probably
just my
with malice
opinion.
aforethought.
Yeah.
They sent somebody infected.
Well,
in
when I
there.
first heard he had it,
Everybody
I
knows
thought,
that.
okay, who snuck up behind him and rubbed COVID on his back or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
I was like,
those
here we go.
Russians can do a lot.
Could have been in the candy he ate or the ice cream.
Yeah.
Probably in that gas can he was.
Well, I just want to know who
That was
all
the dumbest picture
watched
I've ever seen.
the prime time last night at the January 6th hearings. It was
No, I did not.
very, it
I
was,
never
well, you should have watched it because it was just very revealing. I'd like to know what people think about it. I mean,
What did it reveal?
it revealed that according to their videos that they played and testimony from other people, that once Trump got back to the White House, he went into the dining room that's adjacent to the Oval Office and sat and watched everything play out on TV, but never once during those 3 hours of all the panic in DC do anything to make a formal announcement to stop it.
Oh my.
That he sat there and just
Mhm.
called different senators and asked the senators to back him up on stopping the electoral vote. But they said that even after urging from people that were there with him, family, other people, he refused to do anything about the rioting.
At that point in time, what could he do? Go on TV and say, "Hey, don't do this." They're not watching TV.
Right, that's true. But
True that.
But afterwards, when he finally did, when they wrote him a speech later that afternoon to do a presser to tell the people to quit writing, I mean, they had to go through several rehearsals because he kept wanting to change the words on it. And then he actually didn't really follow. There were several times when he went off script and, was telling like, I love you, we love you, but so it was, I just don't know what to think.
I wonder what kind of state of shock that he was in when he actually found out what was happening.
I just don't know. I mean,
Don't know.
What do you believe? What do you believe? Because you have your far left media, you have your far right media.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have your people in Congress there that absolutely hated Trump. And then you have your people that just want to stay out of it. So what do you believe?
My. What else is going on? We got a hearing coming up next week here.
Yes, we do. Monday, right?
Monday, 9
Yes.
a.m. The school board, the school system has got a hearing to decide the fate of one of the sitting school board members, Eric Whitfield.
Yes.
And Eric's been on this show many, 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 many times in the past. And when he was running for election, the first go round here for this particular seat that he won, and I still don't get it. He was running. He filed his campaign finance reports. He did this. He did that. And then he told people, "Don't vote for me," but people voted
Absolutely.
for him.
Well, I don't think he had much of a campaign finance report. He didn't spend any money. He
That's
just threw
right.
his name in there.
Yeah, that's it.
And he felt like by doing videos and sending out flyers saying "Don't vote for me" would give him enough name recognition, so that because his real purpose was eventually running for county commissioner again, and he felt like the school board was just a stepping stone that would give him name recognition, which it did
Well,
in
it
an
has.
adverse way.
Not in the right way. He ran as a Republican, registered Republican, and as soon as he was elected,
Yes.
he became a non-Republican,
That's
not
right.
an independent.
He went and changed
He became a
his-
Democrat.
That's right. He went and changed his affiliation to Democrat.
Now, and he's pretty well made it known that the reason he ran as a Republican because that was the only way he could get elected, and he was not elected by his name. He was elected by his R
Yes.
beside the name. That's it.
The top 5 people on the ballot that year won. And I think what the voters did, they just checked first 5. They just check, and
and he proved a point, the same point that I made here time and
That's
again and
right.
again and again and again.
people for the people, because you have your voters, your people that live around town, that live within the community, they don't get involved in politics. They don't pay any attention to what's going on social media. They could care less.
Yep.
So they go into the polls and they don't know who these people are. So they'll just, if it says pick three, they'll just pick the top three. Now, I have seen though where you might have somebody on that ballot that's got a very unusual name. Not like Smith, Johnson, Jackson,
Brown.
Morton, Kellum, Brown. And they're like looking at that and they have a tendency to skip those names.
Yep. If you don't know anything about the ballot, the people on
That's
the
right.
ballot, shame on you,
And
every
what
one of you.
and what we saw this year was we had a lot of outside groups putting a lot of influence into people's minds.
I agree with that.
So
Or irrelevant groups for that matter.
right.
Oh, they were irrelevant.
Local irrelevant.
But they
groups.
worked.
Right.
It worked in some cases.
Yeah, to a certain degree, but I wouldn't say that they were really that successful.
They
on
were
it.
not.
You know,
Well,
some
you
of the
know why they
people-
were not successful? Because people like us put them in the limelight.
Well, I think a lot of people have learned since then that these groups were not what they thought they were. So
No, not even close.
I know.
They did take credit for getting things like I don't know, Colonel Chris Thomas. Like,
Colonel Chris
duh.
Thomas would have won if 20 people had been running. He was the front runner all the way
from
around.
way
So
back, yeah.
we knew
from
that
day
he was
one.
going to win.
So
He's
taking credit for
Yeah,
him
he's a
would be
homeboy.
would be like me taking credit for whatever. But no,
Right.
that did not happen.
right.
No,
He's a
no.
homeboy. Everybody knew him. He'd
Yeah.
been. He's a hard worker. He's done a fabulous job in everything that he's done. And I mean, it was a given that he was going to win.
Yeah.
I do applaud the others that stood up and wanted to run. Also,
Not a problem.
great guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely great guys.
Yeah.
But Colonel Thomas had the edge over everybody.
With experience.
He had
Yeah,
the
he had the
experience,
experience.
years of
That's
experience.
That's the basic 30 years,
30
plus
years of experience. And
Come on.
we all know him. We've known him. And of course, the powers to be in the county are going to back him.
Of course.
'Cause
Why
you
would they
have-
not?
That's right.
They know what he is. They know
That's
who
right.
he is. They know what the kind of job he's been doing for the
Right.
past 30 years. And I found no blemishes.
And I would suggest the other gentlemen that threw their name into the hat that they work hard over the next 4, 8, 12 years.
Yep.
They were all still young enough and get in there and get the experience needed and get the knowledge and meet the people and work on it. And they'll stand a very good chance when Chris ever decides to step down, if he does.
Well,
Not if they don't go back into law enforcement. They won't.
That's right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
We
They have to
don't-
get into law
Because as a
enforcement.
voter, I don't want somebody that doesn't have the experience
do
in
Well,
their
not
job.
You
want-
had one that was running that has law enforcement experience as presently a law enforcement officer now, Topsail Beach, North Topsail.
Hmm.
But continue what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out there and do it and, meet and talk to people. And
Mhm.
I personally would go and have a serious heart-to-heart chat with the soon-to-be sheriff.
Oh, we're talking about sheriff's department and law enforcement. Somebody just sent me a text and it reminded me that Kinley, North Carolina in Johnston County,
Yeah.
the whole police department they resigned.
Why?
Yes, they quit. It has to do with the town manager from the speculation and
Oh,
from
really?
what I'm reading that nobody could get along with the town manager. So the police department has walked out. And I do believe the mayor has put in his resignation and the town clerk.
Good
and,
gracious.
Well, then somebody might
would
want to
be-
step in that town and get rid of that manager. Hello.
Yeah.
What we got like a boss hog situation going on right there. They think they just
Right.
run the whole show.
Well, I know a statement from our sheriff here in Alonzo County. He said he's glad that his fellow sheriff of Johnston County and also the NC State Highway Patrol stepped up to serve the people.
Well, but,
While the underlying reason for the town's police officers and 2 administrative assistants are resigning their positions
so
is
here,
thoroughly
here's the
investigated.
cool thing about that.
Yes.
That town manager, he
Yes.
ain't got no control over the HP
Well,
or highway patrol or the sheriff.
Well, why didn't they just fire him?
Yeah,
I'd rather pay his contract, pay it out or whatever. I
Oh,
mean, the
no,
whole town is
I-
quit.
there would be no contract there. If you
Yeah.
fit for good cause.
Right.
I'd take that to court and I wouldn't pay him a nickel.
I wouldn't either. But to the people of Kinley, I'm sure the North Carolina Highway Patrol and other agencies will be
Oh,
stepping
that'll
up
be fine.
to help while they sort out this mess.
But that's
Yeah.
still going to be a mess because the high patrol is taxed as it is now.
Yeah, but they can help with a little traffic
Right.
control, traffic investigations like wrecks
But I'm
and that
talking
kind
about
of
what are you
stuff.
going to do about rapes, robberies?
That's what the sheriff's office will do,
okay.
not
Right.
the highway patrol.
Okay.
All right, sheriff's office will take over that area. Well,
That's
that's
not a problem.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That is crazy. It's sad, but you're seeing this more and more in small towns, like you said. where people
Somebody
are-
gets a little power in their head and they think they run the show, and they do not.
Yeah.
well,
So-
And
that
you have
that
to get
goes
rid
all
of
the
people
way
like that.
from
You have to
town
weed 'em out.
managers to county commissioners
Yes.
I
to
brought you
sheriff's
into this
department.
world, and I can take you out.
I'm telling you, I call it the boss hog syndrome. If people watch too much Dukes of Hazzard and they think they get a little bit of power and they think they run everything, and they don't.
Thank God we got a boss. We got a little bit of he's not a boss. He's like a peon hog, right? He's a piglet.
A piglet?
Yeah.
What are we
here
talking
Here in
about?
Onslow County.
Oh.
He wants to be a boss hog.
I've heard stories. Yes.
Yeah. But he's
okay.
outnumbered, outgunned,
Well,
everything.
sometimes
So,
a
anyway, ain't
position
gonna happen,
title
bud.
just goes to your head badly.
Yep.
So
Let's take a break, do a little bit of weather. Number is 910-333-0139. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have a gentleman in here. He's going to be talking about some things that I hope with some good information for you, but I hope you won't have to use it ever.
hope not either.
There we go. You're live and local, Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Hey, great opportunity to pick up some top-notch, wonderful rigs for speckled trout and redfish right at Tideline Marine. One of the pro staffers there, talked to him over the weekend. He recommends a particular popping cork brand, one that's not carried in most places, and he's been wearing out the redfish. Stop in at Tideline, ask John, George, or even me when I'm there, and you'll get hooked up with that one. Trust me. There's a variety of inshore lures, soft plastics, and hard baits to choose from. And if you need a good ride to get to the fish, guess what? Get there and back. Check with the team on both Lund aluminum boats and the Aquasport Bay boats. Tideline Marine and Family, LLC, on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Got a small craft advisory in effect through this afternoon. Southwesterly winds offshore, it's 15 to 20, gust to 30, seas 4 to 6 feet, dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers will be choppy. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds again, 10 to 15 knots, seas coming down 3 to 4 feet. Dominant period 5 seconds. Still a little bit like a washing machine in the inlet. So Sunday, same thing. Winds out of the southwest 10 to 15. When the winds are from the west, the fishing is best. Seas will be 3 to 4 on Sunday.
Okay, well, Friday today is we're going to have a high of 87 with the low of 75 tonight. 35% chance of precipitation.
That's called rain.
With rain. I just need to say rain instead
Yes,
of the
you do.
other. Saturday is mostly cloudy, a high of 88 with a low of 75, 20% chance of rain. Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of 86 with a low of 75 and a 20% chance of rain.
And we're back, and as we promised, and as we're delivering, we got the one, the only, one of my neighbors, Steve Goodson, in the house here. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Rayford, I'm good. How about you?
Hanging in here. I get to see Steve from time to time. If I'm running a little bit late leaving the house, I find him walking his dog.
No. The dogs are walking me.
I got you. I got you.
Absolutely.
I understand. If I'm running about 5:45 in the morning, he's out there walking. The dogs are walking him up and down the street.
Right.
Normally, I'm a little bit earlier than that, but occasionally I see him. How's it going, Steve?
It's going great. It's going great. Busy summer so far. Just everything going on. We've been trying to set this up since June. I think.
I know that.
Like the middle part of June, right?
Yeah, well, actually, since before hurricane season.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
the
Yeah,
first
we
one.
talked. Yeah, we talked about this in between
Jeez.
vacations and just the kind of. We've had some spikes of COVID around the community
Yeah,
and
we
actually
have.
the office, and we're taking a ton of precautions as it relates to
As
that.
you should. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and so we finally have kind of settled on this interview midway through hurricane season.
Yeah, there you go. Well, not midway. We got until November.
Well, that's true.
End of
Yeah,
November.
That's true. And actually, our season now
It's
is
kicking
is
off,
starting to really kick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve's with Jones Onslow EMC. I'm a customer of those. I am so
too.
happy to be a customer of
Me
Jones
too.
Onslow. I had to move into your territory.
Well, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate it.
My house actually starts Jones Onslow. My neighbors to the right, they're
Mhm.
Duke. And my house is on the line. It starts Jones Onslow. I was like, thank you.
and dating back before you, Steve, my family put up a radio station here in Jacksonville back in 1968, 67, 68. And they had a choice at that time. They were living on the border of they could be served by either company here in town.
Oh, wow.
It's on Arnold Road.
Okay.
At that time,
Yeah.
it was in such a strategic location. That piece of property, 10 acres, could go either
Either way.
way. They chose Jones Onslow.
That's great. Well, we
So,
appreciate that.
If that says anything for you,
Well, I just like to tell everybody, everybody, we're not the biggest. We're not. I think we're the best, but we're not the biggest. But as my former boss used to say, we're like Avis. We just try harder.
yeah, I
So
saw
that's what we try to
You're
do.
doing a great
So.
job. Appreciate that, sir. You guys have had a lot of thunderstorms here.
Yeah, we have. So I've got
Lightning's
an app
popping.
on my phone that I get an email or I get emails.
say
Actually,
app.
yeah. I've got an app, and then I've also got email on my phone. And Chris, I brought our safety manager, Chris Banks, with us today.
Yes.
But we get notifications whenever there's thunderstorms or lightning strikes or whatever throughout our service area. And last night I had 34 email notifications last night from where lightning was striking all throughout
I'll tell you what.
our service area.
How about 4 a.m. today? Did you
Yeah.
get some then?
Yeah.
I bet you did.
My dogs, I have my poodle, which walks me, went and crawled up underneath the
poodle.
covers. Yeah,
My-
I can't imagine you having a poodle. Maybe a German Shepherd or something.
It's not a.
Poodle.
It's not one of them baby toy poodles.
Steve walking a
Well,
poodle.
yeah, I've got a big one. It's a golden doodle, a mix
Right.
between a
Right.
golden retriever, and then I do have a little miniature poodle or toy poodle or miniature poodle.
Whatever
Right.
it is.
Yeah, whatever. It's the boss of the house. So anyway,
Uh-huh.
but when that started snapping, she
Head for the covers.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
tough last
yeah,
night
yeah.
or this morning. So
Yeah. So I woke up and I said, "What in the world? What's going on? I've got gunfire going on around here."
Yeah.
So that's what it sounded like.
it did.
Seriously.
It did.
And then some rumbles. I said, "Marines, you don't need to be out there practicing in this kind of weather, but
Well,
it wasn't
either-
Marines.
Well, either that or our community, our neighborhood, either where we are or across the street, around the 4th of July, they like to set fireworks off. So
I know. Yeah,
So-
they do. Some of them do that.
yeah, they do. So,
I've discouraged my neighbors from wanting to do that though.
yeah, we kind of have to. So we got some good folks around us.
We
so
do. We absolutely
We do.
Chris, safety manager, Jones Onslow.
Yes, sir.
You
How
got
are
a
you?
lot
a
of
big job.
That is a huge job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's electricity and a lot of people like to play in electricity. I got a little experience there. That's the good thing because even in high school I was wiring homes
Okay.
during the summertime and on vacation. Anytime we had a vacation,
Can
I
you
worked
do
on.
ceiling fans?
No, ma'am.
I think last year we did this interview. I was Kelly sitting. Somebody asked you about when you said you had some experience. Somebody asked you, could you wire something up for them? I think that was I forget who
Whoever
that
it was,
whoever
I
it was.
probably did. Yeah,
And you probably did it because
Yeah.
that's how you are. But anyway.
yeah. That was probably Dee Dee because I did have to fix a bunch of stuff that she had. She moved into a new place.
That's right. Yeah.
That's who it was. Oh boy, retrofitting an old house is yeah, no.
Yeah.
I've had to do a lot of that. But Chris, one of the things during hurricane season, you see advertised, buy a generator.
That's right.
Buy a generator. We got them for sale. We got a truckload of
I want
generators
one.
waiting for you.
I want one wired in the
And
right way.
Then some individual, they always have this wonderful idea. I don't even know where they came up with this wonderful idea. Somebody did at some point in time to put 2 male plugs on an extension cord and plug one into your generator and the other into a socket in your house. Hey, I can power the whole house by doing this.
That doesn't sound wise.
It ain't good.
Very dangerous.
No.
Very dangerous.
Not only for your house,
But
'Cause-
for our linemen.
because when the power goes out, should it happen, and you do something like this, it's going to work,
Yes.
sort of temporarily, as long as you don't have too much juice you're having to try to suck out of that thing. But at some point in time, when the linemen have to climb those poles to repair something, what happens?
Plugging a generator into your outlet into your house can cause backfeed onto the lines, which it will travel backwards through the meter, provide electricity back on the lines, and the linemen are working on those lines thinking they are de-energized when actually they are not. So as linemen have to take those precautions, and they have to go through the proper steps, testing the line, grounding the line to ensure their safety, even though they wear the proper gloves and sleeves to protect them.
Now, those transformers that you got up on the pole, that depends upon where you are. You come in with very high voltage into a transformer, then it steps it down to 240 volts for most homes, right?
Yes.
Now, if you feed 120 volts back up to that transformer, it comes out the other end at high voltage, very high voltage, extremely high voltage.
That's right.
17,000 or something. I think
1700. Yes. sir.
1700
Yeah.
volts. That's just not cool.
That's right.
Now, for your homeowners, when they do restore the power, and if you're feeding stuff out, it's going to be feeding back into your home and into that generator in a
Yes.
bad way.
That's right.
So your generator is going to be screwed too, right?
That's right.
And it could have a fire.
That's right.
Oh, listen,
Certainly
people,
don't need that.
if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Period.
Yeah.
Well, let
And-
me ask you this. Is Jones Onslow offering any kind of program for people who would like to get one of the home generators installed?
So I'll tell you this. So we looked at partnering. One of the, there's several manufacturers. The one that's kind of taken the foothold is Generac.
Yeah.
Generac,
Yeah,
and you can get them
Yes.
at
Reasonable cost. Too.
yeah. at Home Depot, Lowe's, and stuff like that. We looked at potentially partnering with Generac. And it was actually right before COVID. We actually had talked to them on a couple occasions, and we're trying to work out
There's a mosquito here, I think.
some details as it associated with it, where we could potentially offer some special some special pricing for members,
Right.
even maybe a little bit cheaper than what you might be able to get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Home Depot, and then everybody kind of COVID hit, everything kind of took a back seat. And then we started I guess the new norm.
The new norm,
Whatever
yes.
the new norm was.
Don't even
Yes.
know.
So, but but your question is it's a great question. We've looked at potentially partnering with Generac. They partner with co-ops. They have a co-op program nationwide that we could be as involved in marketing the product
Right.
and working with members and helping them get that discount, to potentially even inventorying them and working with maybe local electricians and to potentially install. I don't know that we want to go that all the way. We don't want to keep 15
See, I'd go
generators in stock.
No.
But
Right.
but I think from the maybe marketing the concept of it, of standby generation,
That would be great.
so we're definitely exploring that. We, like I said, we were really close to making a recommendation, to our boss and the board of directors, and then COVID came, and so now we're just
Back to square one.
Yeah, back to square
It's
one.
back to square one for a lot of things.
What kind of, okay, so we don't have a generator, or we have a 2,000 watt generator or whatever we got at home, a little standby type thing. We can power our TV maybe, because they're all LEDs these days. You don't
Yep.
have to worry about drawing a lot of current. But what kind of precautions, Chris, should people use if they've got this portable generator? Don't plug it into the house.
That's right. The only thing you want to do is you want to plug individual appliances up to your portable generator. But when you start your generator, you want to make sure that you're using your generator outside in a well ventilated area. You want to start your generator before you plug your appliances up to it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're refueling your generator, you want to make sure that your generator is shut off and it actually cools down, so that if you do spill your fuel, that you're not causing that spark, that fire as
when
well.
you spill your fuel.
Yeah, when you spill your fuel, it's
You
going to
are
happen.
going to spill
It's
your
going to
fuel
happen.
on it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, and do that, but it needs to be in a ventilated area, number one.
Yes.
Because you've got fumes coming off that thing.
And covered if it can be.
Well,
potentially.
yeah, because you're going to go out there in the rain in the
Yeah.
middle of a hurricane.
Just-
Water, electricity, bad combo.
Doesn't match.
Yeah.
Grounding the generator.
Yes. As that's important. All of our equipment that we have is grounded. Your meter base on the side of your house is grounded. All electrical equipment requires grounds, so grounding the generator is important.
In other words, if I was going to have one in a little covered lean-to or whatever I want to have for my generator, so I
Yes.
could use it during the rainstorm, drive a ground rod down
Yes.
and have a bolt or something that you can, because all generators, I will say most generators have a grounding lug on them somewhere,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And have that ready so you can just attach it
Yes.
in advance and be done with it.
That's right.
So, okay, those are just some little points, people. And I bet you 98% of the people with generators don't know any of that.
That's right.
No, they honestly,
They don't.
they just
Buy them and
they may follow the rules of maybe a lot of people probably, Chris, don't they probably put them in their garage? They may open up their garage doors for ventilation and put them in their
It
garage.
doesn't work very well.
But
No,
but they
don't do
probably
that.
don't. But taking that step of grounding,
Right.
most people probably don't. I mean, I would say don't do
extremely
that.
important, people. It's
To
very-
ground it?
Yes, absolutely.
I'd always heard that. We usually put a wire on it and then attach it to a grounding stake.
Yep.
Is that
Yep,
good? Yeah.
that'll work.
Yes.
too.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you got a cold water pipe somewhere nearby,
All
get
mine's
yourself
in
some jumper
concrete under the
cables. If you're
house.
not going to go
Oh.
to the trouble of doing something intentional,
jumper cables.
get just some jumper cables. Put it on the grounding lug on your generator and the other end to the pipe, cold water pipe or whatever. It will work.
Yeah.
Yep. It will.
Chris,
It will, it will
It
work.
will
will
work.
that work?
And the standby generators, obviously that's the foray or the entry into having power. If you said when we lose power, I wanted to correct you when you said that. I
That's
wanted
right.
to say
This is Jones Onslow.
if you lose power.
Right.
I wanted to correct you there, but I didn't. But obviously that's what most people end up getting because economics, they're affordable. But we've seen and hence when we were looking at potentially getting into the market of somehow working with Generac, we have seen a spike, obviously, because where we live, and after Florence,
Oh, absolutely.
we have seen just an onrush of folks getting and purchasing standby generation.
Yeah.
The permanent fixture. My
That's what I
parents
want,
just put one
yes.
in last spring,
Mhm.
but the standby generation in our area, a lot of places don't have natural gas, so they'll power with with propane,
Yeah.
and it ties into that particular one ties into or can tie in to your panel of your home. And those things can be obviously devastating. I mean, the portable generators can as well. But Chris, can you just kind of maybe touch on if someone does take that extra step and spend a good amount of money with the standby generation, what they need to do to make sure that thing is connected properly?
You definitely want to make sure that a licensed electrician wires that portable or that standby generator up, wires it up properly. The standby generator will have a switch inside of it so that when your power that the power company supplies to your home goes off, there is a delay, but almost instantly your standby generator kicks in. It flips a switch automatically inside your meter base, which will allow your home to have the same power that the power supplier is giving you. And then once the power supply, Jones Onslow, comes back with the power to your house, the switch automatically turns back over so that your standby generator cuts off. All that allows the workers to work safely on the lines
Mhm.
and doesn't allow the current to backfeed on our system. If it's not done properly, then you still have that chance of backfeed.
Right. Let's take a break, and we'll talk about what should people expect if they don't have a generator.
Okay.
If the
If,
power,
I like that. I like that.
if the power goes off.
Yes, because I have a question about that.
I do
Okay.
too. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back. And we're back live and local. Appreciate you guys listening in this morning. And a reminder, if you're a normal Facebook listener and you don't find us on Facebook, there's a reason. We dumped
That's
it.
right.
Yeah,
We
we're-
dumped them.
We got YouTube channel now.
That's
So
right.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
we're still learning. We're still
And,
learning.
yeah,
We just started
it's
this
new for us.
yesterday.
So you can go to youtube.com and just set that search engine, say live and local
Live and
real talk,
local, real talk.
and you'll find us right there in the picture.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you, what was the switch? Why did you make the switch? You know, I've got my podcast that I do with my guys about
right.
sport. We do it on Sunday nights with sports,
Yes.
and we broadcast it on Facebook.
Yeah.
But
Well, don't say things like what was it? Hen house.
One of our
Don't say
listeners,
anything that is controversial
Okay.
politically.
One of our-
we don't.
I know you don't.
That's one of my rules. We don't talk politics.
One
We
of
don't
our-
talk baseball, or we don't talk
Yes.
politics.
See, there you go. You're
You don't
safe.
talk baseball?
Yeah,
What's
you're
Yeah,
wrong with
safe.
you? That's an American sport.
I'm not a big.
We were
baseball
getting
fan.
hit every single day for doing nothing.
Every day they
Saying we
censored us
played
and
music. We
cut
didn't
out
play
stuff.
music.
They cut out stuff.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Like, really? Come on, guys.
it's interesting. We may be looking at making the switch. That's awesome. Good.
Yes.
This is the expert right here.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to
No.
YouTube.
No.
It's easy.
So I may be
Switch was
calling
easy.
you. May be calling me about
Thermostat?
Okay, we'll
about a thermostat.
We'll
I'll
swap
call you
off.
about
Swap
that.
We'll swap.
information.
We'll help each other.
All right, let's say if now I'm going to say when for just a second. Here's why: because there are individual households like mine. If a tree falls across my line coming in,
Mhm.
you guys don't even know it for the most part, right?
4 or 5 years ago, I would have said yes to that.
Mm,
But we undertook a really large technology initiative. We completed the project a couple years ago. We started it about 4 years ago, I think 3 years ago. Actually, the largest technology project that the company has undertaken since I've been there, and I've been there for 32 years now.
wow.
We put advanced metering, the advanced meters throughout our system, and what the advanced meters do is they allow us to communicate with your home and
Right.
and not only read the meter, but because we have so many folks that move in and out of our area because of the military and just this and that. Previously, we would have to roll a truck. If someone connected service, they would have to go and we'd have to pop the meter in, and
You
that
push a button now and it's done.
push a button from the office and it's done.
Okay.
So we can connect and disconnect meters right from the office.
Okay.
But what that also allows us to do is it lets us be proactive, and we staff our facilities 24/7, 365.
Mhm.
And so if there's and these meters are potentially pinging back to the office, we a lot of times know about a power outage before our members know about a power outage
In the middle of the night.
Yeah, in the middle of the night or something
Okay.
like that.
Well, that's good.
But now with that said, we still do encourage and we'll
Make a
talk
phone
about
call.
that. Make a phone call.
Yeah.
Technology is great, but it maybe sometimes doesn't always work, and it makes the member feel more comfortable knowing that they've contacted us
Sure.
about the outage.
Yeah, well, I've found that out a couple of times when there've been. Hey, y'all know about an outage? Yes, sir. We do. We got it all under control, and we've already got trucks en route.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But I make the call anyway.
Yes, sir. And
I
that's what we encourage you to do. All members to do.
Well, I know in the past when there's been an outage, I mean, your electric corporation's right on it.
Yeah,
and it never.
doesn't take long.
But I noticed the last storm or two we had that, and I always make fun of my neighbors because they're under Duke, and I usually up and running, and they're like over there sweating. And like, can we come over? And I was like, okay, yeah, of course. But
Can we borrow some of your
the
power?
last couple times storms, I was like last to get electricity, and I'm like, what's going on? But come to find out that ours goes through one of Duke's substations.
Yeah, so that that kind of happened. We had some
Oh.
situations during Florence.
Can we change it?
Yeah, we had some. And first, let me say, they do a great job. I mean, they
Oh, yes,
with
they
the,
are,
with the resources and I'll just say that with the resources that they have available to them in our area, and they go go up all down the east coast of of North Carolina and throughout North Carolina. But one of the great things about Jones Onslow is that we have human resources throughout our system. So if there's a power outage in the Southwest area, if there's a power outage in the Jones County area or wherever, there's a pretty good chance that we've got some employees that live within a certain
Right.
distance right there, and they are driving company vehicles, and they can be notified and get out quickly. So it's a our resources allow us to respond quickly, and we try to do that. But we ran into, addressing about the substation stuff. Yeah, we buy power from our statewide association, and they buy power from different folks, and one of those are different companies, and one of the companies is Duke. But even beyond that, Duke has all the majority, probably almost 100%, I would say, of the transmission lines. They own the transmission lines that distribute power throughout Eastern North Carolina. And so regardless of whatever it is with power, there's a good chance that the substations we're bumping 40 now, I think 30 some odd, high 30s.
Yeah.
The majority of our substations have transmission lines coming into them that Duke feeds. And we ran into that with Florence. We had an area of Gum Branch Road right near Western Boulevard and Gum Branch. We had about 5 or 6 substations. I think some
that would put me there.
Yeah, some in the southwest area where our facilities, every one of our facilities was good to go and great, but Duke had lost their transmission feeding about 5 or 6, I think, of our substations. And so as soon as they were able to, they had to go in, and there's regulations and rules that they had to follow. They had to fly it with hurricanes and stuff. I mean, with helicopters and stuff. So as soon as, it passed all the safety procedures and protocols, they were able to flip the switch and power that transmission line, which fed our substations. And we brought a lot of folks back on really quickly. But the transmission line, the going into substation, is a Duke transmission line.
Yeah, I understand that now.
Okay.
After a week without electricity.
All right, let's take a quick break. You're live and local Real Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And Lee, you have a question for these fine folks too about
Yes.
during hurricanes or prior to
Yes.
and all that.
I mean, we started this back a long time, but when Bertram Friend first hit,
Yep.
and I know that everyone learned a lot from it. And now the electric membership pre-plans to have other crews coming into our area before the storm. Could you explain how that you do that?
Yeah, so one of the great things about being an electric cooperative is the network of other electric cooperatives that are throughout the state and throughout the country. There's 26 total electric cooperatives in North Carolina, and there's
Really?
around 800 and some 820 so throughout the country. And so one of the 7 cooperative principles, which I can't give you all 7 of them right offhand, but I can give you one of them, and that's is cooperation amongst cooperatives. And it's just basically saying that if there's ice storms or snowstorms that might occur out in the western part of the state, then if it's feasible for us and we feel like we can, our first priority is our members. If it's not impacting us, then we're willing to send crews and whatnot out to help restore power in the western part of the state. Or we've sent crews to the southern Virginia several times to restore power. And it's just a reciprocating agreement during hurricane season. We have a statewide association that coordinates a lot of those functions for us. And so as the as hurricanes or tropical storms or whatever potentially come our way, we get on the phone and start kind of setting things up.
Networking, yes.
Yeah, and then we also utilize contract crews, subcontract crews that they're separate entities that that might do some work for us. We use them a lot for right of way work on a year round basis already, and then we have some crews just from a staffing perspective that might do some other jobs for us. And so we just always stay prepared. We have a disaster recovery plan,
Right.
a business continuity plan, and that book doesn't just sit on the shelf and we don't dust it off in June. We're always looking,
Mention you
always
have to
reviewing
update
it,
every year.
and it's updated.
Right.
And we just believe in being proactive. I mean, and just just being prepared. I will tell you the one. Not pitfall, but one thing we have to be really cognizant of is when we do bring in crews, their structures may not be built like ours. There may be different voltages on different lines, and stuff like that. So anybody that rolls in to help us, provide, to restore power, they check in with our folks, and we get names and numbers and contact information in case of emergencies. And then the very next thing they do is they go talk to my man right here, Chris Banks, and Chris
Safety
Banks,
time.
and tell you just tell them basically what you tell them.
So Jones Onslow is very views safety very important, and not only for Jones Onslow employees, but for, like Steve was saying, other workers from other companies that come in. We want to make sure that they understand how our system works, what our voltages are, and let them know that safety is very serious to us as well.
We have a zero. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you. We
Yeah.
have a zero tolerance policy.
Sure.
A lot of folks, whether it's co-ops, whether it's subcontractors, whatever, some of those folks just don't. I don't want to say they don't believe in safety, but they get in a mode trying to get hurricane restoration and want to try to get power restored. And we want to restore power as quickly as possible, but we also want to restore it as safely as possible. We just don't believe in cutting corners.
That's right.
And so, I mean, and we've actually sent crews home before.
Oh yes.
Who we've seen in the field have been doing things that just don't line up with our safety procedures, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
you don't want to reverse the black and the white wire, right?
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Definitely not.
Yes.
So,
That I know.
so yeah. Well, anyway, I'm glad you guys are on top of things and
I
you're
am too.
proactive. I've been around a lot of people, electrical companies, and moving around and whatever. I like what you guys do. I really do. And
Well, we just, again, like Avis, we just try harder, and we're here. We just try to be a good corporate citizen,
Mhm.
whether it's in the restoration of power, whether it's supporting our schools,
Yes,
or
you do that too.
nonprofits, throughout the community, because there's a good chance if we're supporting the Women's Center,
Yes, you do.
that we have an employee that's on the board of directors, or there's a good chance if we're supporting Onslow County or Jones County schools that we've got kids in schools, and so it's easy to want to be a part of the community when you are engaged in the community, like that. So
24/7.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Good. Steve, thank you
Great
as always.
information.
Chris, I hope I'm trusting everything will go well this year,
Yes.
and that my power will not go out this year.
That's right.
If it does,
I've got a wrong extension cord. I'm coming to your house.
yeah, and you have my cell phone number as well. So,
Yeah.
which we don't give that out over the phone.
I know we
over
don't
the
do that.
radio.
We don't
right?
do that.
I'll be standing by and watching and hoping that maybe you can do some type of program with the home generator.
Yeah, we're going to
so-
revisit
If you
it.
do that,
Yes.
I'd like to.
Yeah, we're
be part
going
of
to
that too.
revisit it, and we may look at there's what's the you can buy more if you buy more widgets, you can get a better price,
Right.
and so that's the great thing about having a statewide association. So there
That's
may be some
right.
powers and numbers where we can do
Right.
some group buying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's an awesome idea.
yeah, so we're exploring
$1
that.
down, $1 week. We just add it to my bill.
Yeah, there may be the potential.
See,
We'll
that's that.
Yeah.
Like we can make payment plans
There
through
you
our
go.
electric bill.
Oh, absolutely.
Us poor people
Yeah.
could afford it better. It's not so much the unit itself; it's paying an electrician, and then
Yeah.
getting one to come out.
Well, that's getting the supply and demand
Yes,
with manpower.
And if they were like contracted through you, just putting it out there, just putting it out
Well, it's
there.
funny, we listen to members. We do customer satisfaction surveying twice a year, and actually the second quarter.
You do.
You've been contacted.
I have.
This second quarter
Volunteered.
actually that just ended, the January, March, the June quarter that ended, we actually added a couple questions on there about various programs and services that potentially the members might see us like to go into, and I think the generator was one of them. So we listen and we try to do what we can to
And we
to meet the
appreciate it.
needs.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
Chris Banks, thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, as always,
I'll see you walking dogs.
you got that. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME Fox News is now. All right, we're back live and local, Real Talk here on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 a.m. WSME, and we're waiting for a call, or either he's here or is, I don't know, he's in the green room or not. Richard Crowder should be joining us, talk about landscaping and talk about my garden and see what I got to do next. And so hopefully he'll be joining us here in just a second. Boy, that was noisy.
Sorry.
You moved the microphone around.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Just trying to move everything back around again.
thanks to
Kelly's coming back in.
yeah, thanks to our two fine gentlemen there, Chris Banks. I've not met Chris before, I don't think.
No, he's just
He's
a
a-
baby. I was like, when did you
He's
start?
a young man.
Yeah, he's a young man.
17 years with the company, and
Yes.
he's not
That
quite a
surprised
baby.
me.
But-
Absolutely.
But to us, he looked like a baby sometimes. Right?
Yes.
And Steve Goodson,
Known him forever. His
32
mom and dad and
years
family.
over there. Yeah, I've known Steve
Yes.
for quite a while now. He also does a podcast on Sunday evenings. He and
Yes,
what is
sports.
it? 2 Men in a Six Pack. I think it's what
Isn't
it's
that
called.
Bobby
Three men in a
Mills
six-pack.
too? I think it was Bobby Mills,
Bobby's involved in it.
Steve, and
That was 3 of them.
there is.
I don't know.
I
thought it
don't
was
know
3.
either.
Yeah.
I
I've
get
I
heard
the-
guess
something
it's
I get the
whoever
stuff.
wants to show up.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, they got kind of a nice little studio set up. They do that kind of stuff out of. So just so you can Google it, look for it,
Yes.
and on Facebook, is where they are currently.
Right.
So anyway, okay, where is Richard? Richard Crowder calling. I'm gonna call him.
That's
I
not
no,
fair.
you can't do that. Just trying to get out of some. I have a
Oh,
question. Do you want to make
uh-oh.
$100,000?
No.
Yes, I do.
Legally?
Yes, it's
Do I need a
I'm in.
printing press?
No, it's legal. So, and I'm putting this out there because you have until August the 29th, I believe today, August 31st to apply. So this candy company in Canada is hiring a chief candy officer, and it pays $100,000 a year. They want someone to try out thousands of different candies and help pick which candies to sell. And you can even work in Canada or work remotely, from home doing this.
Really?
And yeah,
They want me to test some candies. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
yep. So,
Okay.
and the deadline to apply is August 31st, and you can apply online. And
Oh, well,
the
that'd be
candy
cool.
company is called the Candy Fun House.
Candy Funhouse.
So
Well, that
anybody
sounds like
that's
a-
looking to make $100,000 a year testing candy,
I can chow down with some candy for $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just let my little elves chow down on it.
Hey, Richard, how about you?
Yeah, I could eat.
So not
yeah, I
fair.
could eat it. No, I guess
So-
I'll pass it up. I like meat better than candy bars.
I do too, but give me $100,000 a year, and I'll eat your candy, not a problem. And I'll let you know whether it's good or bad.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I can do that. But then how much is your dentist bill going to be?
Well,
Well, for $100,000, you could buy new teeth every other year.
okay, true. Yeah.
oh my! Hey, Richard Crowder and Son Landscaping. How are you?
Good, Rayford. How are you?
I'm fine. You down there in Louisiana still?
Yes, and it is hot. I will tell you. We thought it was hot at our house. It's hot.
All right, sounds good. Are you on speakerphone?
No, but I was in an empty room, so now I'm in the room that's not.
Yeah, not quite as hollow there. That's good. Richard, it's about halfway through the summer now. We're coming up
Yeah.
on the 1st of August.
Mhm.
It is still hot, but we've been kind of lucky. I want to put it that way around my house because we haven't had to water a whole lot this summer. In the beginning, we
Right.
did, but all the grass, it looks like some of those tropical locations where they got lots of rain all the time. The grass is green, the weeds are high, and that kind of stuff. What should we be doing with our yards right now?
You really shouldn't be doing a lot of anything except keeping it mowed. Remember, you want to keep it mowed as high as you can, which is about an average of 2.5 inches in height. We do that for 2 reasons. It keeps the weeds kind of shaded out, and it also reduces the water requirements for the grass because it gives its own self shade and has a bigger leaf to absorb during the morning time. So right now we don't need to be doing a lot of anything except just mowing, keeping the weeds out. If you see any weeds, pull them out or spray them, either one.
Okay, now we're going to come up towards, as dreaded as we want to think it's going to be, the fall season will be coming on strong. Should we be prepping our lawns to, for a long winter's nap or what?
Yeah, we should be doing that. Now's a good time to go ahead. So the turnaround times will work out real good. Go ahead and get you a soil sample so you know what you need to do as far as fertilizer and lime. Fertilizer, you're going to have to probably get at a bank and get a loan for it, but it'll be okay. But we can do that. But yeah, we get so we know how much fertilizer and lime to put down, and that'll get us through the winter. And then also you need to be thinking about what flowers you want to plant for the winter.
Okay, I don't generally think about flowers during the wintertime, but there are some that thrive in cold weather, right?
Oh, yeah. You got various lettuces. We got mums. It's all kinds of things you can keep your yard looking good in the wintertime.
You ever seen anybody plant like pumpkins this time of year and like in their front yard?
I personally have not, but I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah, they got some beautiful blooms. If nothing else, the flowers look really cool. And as the fall comes on, you got these orange pumpkins growing naturally in your front yard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Richard, I have a question.
Go for it.
All right. So I planted cucumber, and now because of all the rain, my leaves are yellow kind of. How can I make that not kill my plant?
A little bit of nitrogen,
Okay.
Mhm.
not too much, just a little.
Okay. Where do I find that at?
You can get it at any of the big box stores,
Okay.
Such as, or any of your local farm and garden stores.
Okay.
So, okay, nitrogen comes in something you can just spray on the ground or put on the ground, right?
It'll come in a granular form. It's probably going to be, that's probably going to give you the 10-10-10 fertilizer.
Mhm.
And so, or you can get 17-17. That for cucumbers, a little bit of 10-10-10. A handful like that'll do you fine.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
I can do that.
Now, squash is coming. Squash is gone for me.
Oh, squash is gone.
Yeah. So you told me there's a second season coming on. We can do some stuff again, right?
That is correct. If you can keep the plant kind of cool, excuse me, if you can keep the plant a little cool through this, you can actually grow squash, and the same plants you grew for the spring, you can grow in the wintertime. I mean, in the fall time, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I could plant some squash seeds. When would you suggest that I plant the seeds? And I don't really plant seeds and then transplant them for squash, except during the last winter when I did it and then moved them over as soon as the ground was a little bit warm. But I like to plant squash seeds in the ground where they're going to be growing. When should I plant them?
I would plant them at the end of August.
Okay, got it. End of August,
Wow.
before Labor
And
Day.
that's going to be an experiment, though.
Okay, well,
Since he doesn't want to move them from one place to the other.
okay, so
But if I was going to do it, I'm going to plant it at the end of August.
okay, so that way we've still got plenty of growing season left, and they're cool, and the temperature's coming down. So maybe
Correct.
maybe we'll have squash for Thanksgiving or something.
That works.
Okay, what else can we look forward to for the garden this year, for the rest of this year?
Right now, if everybody's planting a garden, they should be getting plenty of tomatoes and things of that nature. Corn's coming, but yeah, as far as the garden season goes, it'll be starting to wind down in about another 6 more weeks. So don't have a lot more to look forward to unless you try to do a fall garden. But that'd be about all I can tell you on that one.
Okay, Richard, how's the baseball tournament going? The series?
I can tell you it is hot, very hot.
Yeah. Louisiana. Lots of skeeters too, huh?
Yeah,
I haven't seen many mosquitoes, but I can tell you I was in the truck yesterday, driving down the road after about 15 minutes because it allowed to give it time for the wind to cool the truck off. I was sitting idle in a spot, and I looked at the outside temperature, and it said 111.
Oh wow!
And I was like, goodness gracious, it is hot.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
believe it. I was in New Orleans a couple weeks ago at the end of June for a conference, and it was hot. It's like swampy heat. It's not even North Carolina humid heat. It's just
Yeah, right.
swampy,
Yeah.
hot. Feels like you can't breathe kind of heat. Rough.
At 10 o'clock at night, it is still hot.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I can tell you with the Sonic, night before last, and at 10 o'clock at night, it was still 93 degrees.
I
Wow.
believe it.
Wow.
I believe it.
Oh,
So,
I'll be in the tropics in a couple of weeks, and it doesn't even get that hot there during the day.
Mhm.
Wow.
man.
Yes.
Not that far from the equator.
Yeah.
So I feel for you. Well, who thought this one up to go down to Louisiana for a World Series?
I don't know who thought it up. I know it's with the Onslow County Parks and Rec Department, which is a good organization for young men and young women in our county. Gives them
Yes.
something to do and keeps them active and out from behind the TV.
I
Uh-huh.
agree.
But
yes.
but yeah, with the age group, the Daniel coaches, they were invited to go to this organization down here. It's for the Dixie Baseball Little League World Series, and so the team raised money and got donations, and away they are. They're here.
I think I would be looking to the mountains of North Carolina this time of year for something like that.
Absolutely. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot up there too, but
Not that hot.
Not as
Louisiana,
hot as Louisiana. I'm telling you,
hot.
that's just a whole special kind of hot. I'm telling you.
I've been to Texas this time of year and hadn't been this hot.
Oh, and
But it's just a different kind of heat.
It is. It's like Louisiana's in its own like little bubble, and their heat is different from anywhere else. I've been all over and lived all over, even in other places in the world where it's very tropical. And Louisiana's just got a special kind of hot.
Yeah.
there's a new license plate for you. Louisiana, a special kind of
I'm
hot.
telling you, it's.
Well, I know you'd
like
be
it.
happy to come home.
I will. I know today we're stopping in Laurel, Mississippi to,
No,
There's a
yeah.
sh-
Oh my goodness, I'm jealous.
there's a show on HGTV that my
Yes.
wife watches, and so I was told it was not too big of a detour, so I'll be checking it out today.
There
You're
you go.
stopping at
Very good.
hometown territory.
Yes.
I love that show. Oh,
Yep.
I'm jealous.
Tell your wife
Yeah.
that we're not on Facebook anymore. She will have to go to youtube.com and then just type in live and local real talk.
All right, that way I won't get in trouble for
There,
that.
there you go.
That's right.
Now I've told you it's on recording. It's all over for everybody to hear.
Mhm.
All right.
She'll know that I've told you.
All right, that's right. We have a vast audience that will know.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you too.
have fun.
Richard Crowder and Son Landscaping. He's down there visiting in Louisiana,
Mhm.
a special kind of hot.
Oh, it
Yes.
is.
So that's a lot of fun. He's always got good information for us.
Yes,
there.
he does.
Mhm.
You know,
I took a lot of that information to heart and used it when I
Yeah.
planted my garden this year.
Yeah.
My garden's doing well.
yeah, mine's produced a lot this year. Squash have come and gone, you know, but
I miss that.
and cucumbers are kind of on the downward spiral. I will tell you right now, they're about to die out. But
Mine didn't
anyway,
do as
Mine
well as
looking
they have in the
good.
past.
They're looking
but
good except for the leaves, but the
Well,
cucumbers are.
I've gotten some good
Getting
ones.
out
out
there.
okay,
of it.
10-10-10 or 17-17-17,
get some of that,
you'll
yeah.
get some stuff. 10-10-10
Right.
probably, according to Richard, would be some fine stuff for you.
I'm gonna get some of that.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a break here live. And this is your turn, folks. It's Friday. You'll have a few minutes after weather to call. And then, Kelly,
I got some dumb crook news.
you got some really dumb quick
I
news?
just
Yeah.
How
this
dumb is the dumbest?
I don't know yet. I have to find. I haven't found my complete dumbest yet.
I
There's some dumb.
I want y'all to call in too as well. And if you've got some dumb crook news, if you're a cop or you ever have been a cop, tell us about some of the dumbest idiots that you've ever had to deal with.
Well, speaking of cops, my favorite show comes back on tonight, Live PD.
You're live and local real talk. 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. Weather's next. You know, at the Onslow Bay Saltwater Fishing Club meeting Tuesday night, we had a guest speaker. He's one of the pro staffers that we have at Tideline Marine. These pro staffers they're the professional guides that go take people out on charters and whatever. Alan Jernigan, he's been doing it for a number of years, and he was pointing out he likes red fishing, the big redfish,
Mhm.
and speckled trout, and he fishes our rivers up and down the coast everywhere. He loves New River for that, since there's some really big redfish in New River now. He pointed out that at Tideline you can get there's a brand new line of corks. Now, what's the big deal about corks? Well, these are popping corks. They make a lot of noise, a great little rattle, and he uses this particular brand exclusively. And Tideline got a bunch of them in stock for him and anybody else that he sends down there to pick them up, and they're doing very well. I sold 4 yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, corks. You wouldn't think a cork is much of anything,
Right.
right? But it gets if you work it right, and it's got some instructions. You work it right, and this particular brand, he says, works better than any of the others that we've tried and that we've still got in stock. And somebody else may not get along with this, but just as a recommendation, that's what he's done. They're available at Tideline Marine. That's one of the really cool things. And he's been wearing out the redfish with this stuff. So, Alan, thank you for that. Stop in at Tideline. Ask John George, or when I'm there, ask me if you want to, and you'll get yourself hooked up. Pardon the pun. There's a variety of inshore lures, soft plastics, and hard baits to choose from. But these corks are not the baits. You still got to have some kind of bait on it. So there's plenty of that to choose from. If you need a good ride to get to the fish and to get back safely, check with the team on both Lund aluminum boats and the Aquasport Bay boats. Tideline Marine and Family LLC on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Small craft advisory in effect through this afternoon. Southwesterly winds kicking up 15 to 20, gusts to 30 today. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers choppy. Southwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 15. Seas 3 to 4. Dominant period 5 seconds. And on Sunday 3 to 4 footers. And the winds again out of the southwest at 10 to 15 knots.
Today, partly sunny, high of 91, but also be very careful. The heat index value today will be as high as 106.
We must have a high humidity.
We have some high something because it's also going to be gusty. So it's going to be gusty 18-mile-an-hour gusts with heat and heat index value. So be very careful. Yes.
Lots of fluids, people. Lots of fluids.
And a 50% chance of precipitation today with thunderstorms, mainly before 5. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 76. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 90. Heat index values as high as 100. Still gusty with gusts as high as 16 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 74. And on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 89. And nothing about a heat index value on Sunday. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, maybe the thunderstorms activity will be down a little bit. Therefore, the humidity will be down a little bit, and yada, yada, yada. Those thunderstorms.
They were rocking and rolling this morning.
They
Oh,
were.
yes, they were.
Yeah.
I actually woke me up, and
Oh.
usually they don't, but I
Oh,
heard
well.
it this morning.
Hey, they got me up going. My little doggy quickly went to snuggling.
Oh,
Yeah, mine don't like. My big dog doesn't like it. I can
mine
hear him.
could care less.
Ah.
Well, I've got one that can't hear anyway, and the
Oh.
other one, he just as long as he gets his blanket, he's fine.
I got one that's scared. My shepherd. He's a big baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure you've got probably an extended list.
I've got there's
The
just some
dumbest of the
dumbness
dumb.
out there. I mean,
So, guys, how about voting on these today? Give us a call as you go along
Which
and
one
tell
you
us which
think?
one is the dumbest of the dumb. Dumb Crook News right now with Kelly.
okay. I'm going to start in Connecticut.
They don't have dumb crooks in Connecticut, do
Yeah,
I
they?
was
they
gonna
do.
say, boy, that's a first.
This happened a few years ago, but I've read this story several times, and I just can't. Okay, so a guy named Albert Bailey, he was 27, and had a friend who was a juvenile. They have not said how old the juvenile was. Were sitting around, and they, for whatever reason, decided they were going to rob a bank. Okay.
Just sitting around and, hey, let's go rob a bank.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, one of them One of them went into the bank, or they had a third person. It's a little unclear about that part. So while the person was in the bank standing at the counter, the other one called the bank and demanded that $100,000 was to be made up in large bills. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So while the guy's on the phone, so let's say it's me and you, I'm on the phone, you're in the bank,
Uh-huh.
and you're handing the note to the teller saying, this is where we want the money, blah, blah, blah. The bank immediately went into lockdown. They shut the whole place
You
down.
can't get out.
Yeah, correct. And they were arrested. Dumb. Now, and so what happened was when he called, he said if the money wasn't ready and, and given to his person, because he called while the person's in line, then the guy got up to the counter while they're still on the phone and handed the note. He said it's going to be a bloodbath if his demands were not met. So now he's
Oh my.
robbing and threatening, basically.
Yeah.
So the employee hung up and immediately called 911, went on the lockdown, and the accomplice, was handed the note, blah, blah, blah. So they ended up being charged, dumb, with first-degree robbery and threatening bodily harm, because he wanted his whole bloodbath, I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 rage.
Under those conditions in a lot of states, including North Carolina, you're indicating that you got a weapon.
Correct.
So you'd be charged with armed robbery
Yeah.
in North Carolina.
And I'm thinking
Whether you are or not.
that probably was there. They just called it something,
Yep.
States call
First
things
degree.
different. Yeah. The police officer that responded apparently had a good old laugh, because they were laughing about the fact that this idiot called ahead to say, we're coming in there robbing you. And then as the call concluded, the accomplice made it up to the thing with his little note. How did they, and I question a few things. One, who thought that was a good idea? Okay, so that was but then how did they determine who went into the bank? Because I'm not going to be the one in the bank.
They drew short straw.
Yeah, did they rock, paper, scissors? Did they pick a straw? Did they draw a name out of a hat? I mean, how dumb are you? That's dumb, Rayford. That is dumb.
I agree. Very dumb.
Yeah. Two guys went on a crime spree. Now, this took place in Canada. And they broke into a bunch of businesses and stole over $200,000 worth of stuff. They were 29 and 33 years old. You know how they got caught? Lord have mercy. Let me back up. So they stole a pickup truck first, and it was $60,000. So they stole that. Then they started stealing money from laundromat machines. So they added that. Then they broke into 15 vehicles and grabbed whatever. So by the time they were done with this spree, they had 160 items and over $200,000 worth of property.
My God.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. I mean,
yeah,
60
a whole
grand
lot.
is one thing,
Yeah.
but where'd you get? They must have got a lot of stuff.
The truck was so full of stuff, they only had room for the two passengers. Really for the driver. The passenger was sitting on stuff. And how they got caught, somehow they passed out. Now, it did not specify, was
Okay.
it from being tired?
Nope.
Were they drugged out?
Yeah,
Don't know, but they were passed out behind the wheel with all this stolen stuff in the car.
Hmm.
And it was felony because of the amount. Dumb. How dumb are you?
Very, very,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to go with this guy. He's 18 years old. So we're going to chalk this up to just being young and dumb. He got shot by the cops because
he's young and dumb.
Well, let me tell you why he got shot by the cops. So he went to a muffler shop. Now, I don't know. I haven't heard a lot about muffler shops getting robbed.
A muffler shop?
A car
What
muffler shop.
would you take from a muffler shop?
So he wanted money in the safe. He knew there was a safe, apparently. Said, I want the money.
Oh, God.
So the employees are like, well, we can't give you the money. And he's like, why not? And they said, because only the owner knows the combination. And he's not here. This idiot. Now, once again, I want to go ahead and say he's 18. So gave his phone number to the employees and said, call me when the owner comes back.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Not well, but it'll work.
Now, this took place in Chicago, and he had a gun, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he said, if you don't do this, I'm going to shoot every one of you. So they're like, okay. So they called the police. Police said, we're going to send some plainclothes officers over there. And they posed as, well, two of them posed as workers, and the rest they were just, I guess you could be like someone in there waiting for your car to get fixed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then they called that phone number and said, hey, the owner's here. You want to come get that money now? I mean, the fact that this idiot thought this was going to work is just amazing to me. So at noon, he showed back up because it happened at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Insanity, not a problem.
He was wearing the same mask and his clothes. When he tried to, now this is what the only part I don't understand. When he tried to pull the gun out of his sweatshirt, one of the cops went ahead and shot him. That was a little weird, but
Well, he's reaching for a gun.
he's reaching for a gun. Okay, good point. Yeah. He wasn't killed. I mean, he was shot, but not killed. I mean, really? Like the fact that this guy thought that this was going to work is what makes him dumb. I mean, there's a whole lot of dumb there, but that makes it dumb. Now, in Alabama, a month ago, this guy, once again, remember how I've talked about the dumbest ways people flee the police?
Yeah.
Well, I think this guy, I don't know. I kind of chalk this up to being, you must really be dumb to do this. So it happened in Hoax Bluff, Alabama, wherever that is. Never heard of it. Must be a really small town. So this guy was going into people's backyards and he had stolen a lawnmower and a leaf blower. So some residents caught him and kind of cornered him and said, hey, the police on their way. So this guy kind of fought him off a little bit, sees the police coming, and runs down to the Coosa River. So the police are watching it. He steals a kayak from somewhere. I don't know if it's on the bank. It doesn't say.
Did they have a paddle?
I don't know. But so they're watching him and they're tracking him like down the river. Well, what do you think happened? Kayak flipped.
Oh, poor baby.
Yep. And he panicked. So he starts, swimming to the bank, gets on the riverbank. Cops are waiting for him, and he fought them. Then he gets arrested. He was charged with burglary, theft of property, because that's both the lawnmower and the kayak, attempting to elude, and resisting arrest. Do you want to guess why he was stealing all this stuff?
His yard needed mowed?
Nope.
He's in a yard care business?
Nope. He wanted to sell items to get his girlfriend's car out of impound.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And
didn't work out too good for him.
Did not work out for him.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't say because earlier that morning the police had towed her car. So that was, I don't know what she had done for that. But then so the police, had assistant. The sheriff was getting ready to put a boat out there. But all was well because he flipped his little kayak. Probably didn't know how to ride one. Now, where is this at? I'm not sure where this is. It's definitely someplace in the South, wherever Alexander County is. I don't know. I know it's not North Carolina,
Sounds
but
like Virginia.
it's somewhere.
I don't know.
So.
Okay.
Anyway, this guy, 38 years old, Timothy Odell Crane, was arrested and charged with breaking and entering and resisting arrest. Entered a house with occupants inside.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well,
Not
first
good.
of all,
That's a
you
shooting
got to be very
offense.
bold
That
right
is
there to do
stupid.
that. Want to know how he got caught? Besides the fact that people were in the house.
Uh-huh.
It was an off-duty deputy's house. And the off-duty deputy was home.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Not a good
Yeah.
one to pick.
He fought the cop. Like,
Strike two.
yes. So not only was he charged with breaking and entering, he was also charged with resisting arrest.
Uh-huh.
Given a bond of only $10,000, which I thought that was a little low.
Yeah,
But
it is.
I mean, that's
For
a little low to
first-degree
me.
burglary.
Yeah. Not sure why that happened. but it did. Now, I would think in this day and age, you really got to be some amazingly kind of dumb to break into a house in the daytime with people there. I mean, did this guy not skulk it out first and make sure that no one was home, that there weren't animals that might bite you or whatever? But he didn't, and he picked the wrong guy. I mean, dumb,
Absolutely
dumb.
picked the
Yeah.
wrong house. It's a
Um,
wonder he wasn't shot.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
That's my
people just
first
really
thought.
do dumb stuff.
He's actually lucky that it was a deputy sheriff's house, a guy
Yeah.
that knows when not to shoot or
Right.
doesn't have to shoot.
Right.
Because if he breaks into a lot of homes, the first thing they're going to do is
Yes.
pop a
It's
cap in
just-
your
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah.
Pop a
That's-
cap. That's
that's-
right. Just
you
aim and
know.
shoot and hope you hit in a good place.
Yeah.
Now, oh me, in last July, this was last year, a woman in a mall parking lot the police got a call. There was a woman. Now it says two things. One, it says she was completely naked. The other one says she's in lingerie. So I'm not sure which one she
Well,
was.
sometimes if you're in
Some people say
lingerie,
lingerie, you
it's-
kind of are naked. Yeah.
God almighty.
So her name was Suzanne Morales. She's 45, and she appeared to be asleep in a Nordstrom parking lot in Boca Raton, Florida. Okay,
she was in a car.
in her car. Now, when the cops got there, they felt like she was drunk because they could literally smell it from
Sure.
outside the car. So they asked her to come out, and she refused. She locked all the doors and said, "I'm not coming out." So this went on for a few minutes. Come out. She's like, "No," and back and forth. So finally, they said, "If you don't come out, we're going to bust this window to open the car door." So then she decided she's going to turn on the ignition.
Mm-hmm.
She reversed it and hit the accelerator. Almost hit one of the cops who got out of the way just in the nick of
There
time.
you go. There's a felony charge.
The car spun out of control, hit a police car. So then it trapped her car with the police car somehow. It doesn't say how that happened. So this lady, being dumb, was arrested and charged with obstructing an officer and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I didn't say if she was charged with DUI, but I would have given her that charge too.
Well, if she was.
Yeah.
know.
Well, they said they could smell it. So,
Well,
yeah, but
here-
did they
here's the
test
thing.
her? Who knows?
Here's the thing.
Mhm.
If you go pull up into a parking lot
Mhm.
and you start drinking in the
Yeah,
parking lot,
yeah.
you're not going to be charged with DWI.
Okay.
They're going to have to prove
They have
that.
to prove she was somewhere
That-
else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't find any alcohol in the car,
Then they,
then they have a
probable
reason
cause
they
it.
could
Okay.
charge her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did not say. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
More dumb but quick news when we get back.
Yeah.
And folks, if you're a cop or were a cop or you've been in the legal profession of some sort, whether it's a lawyer, maybe how about some lawyers that may have had some really clients who were really, really dumb.
Because some clients are dumb and they do dumb things and they tell them dumb. I mean, the lawyers can't really tell what they, but I do know a lot of lawyers that often say,
Oh yeah.
my client doesn't listen to anything I tell them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then why are you? Why do you
Well,
even hire
sometimes
you?
you hear of
I'm
lawyers
sure
that
there's
finally
stories.
fire their client.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They do.
I know a lawyer that did that once.
You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. Our number, 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back. And we are back, and appreciate you guys listening. And those of you who have found us on YouTube, thank you. And spread the word, share it if you would at the end of the show.
And make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, subscribe to it, and that way you will also you can go on in advance, and it'll tell you
When we're-
notify me,
right.
notify me when
Hit that little
when
bell.
when we're going to be live, and it'll help you out there too. And we do appreciate that. So anyway, we kind of had to do this.
Yes, and we're still learning, and we're going to do a lot of enhancements and improvements to the channel. We have to get our feet wet first.
Oh
so
yes, definitely.
We're doing pretty good, I think, so far.
You've done
Yeah,
good.
We
Get- making
managed
it
to go
happen.
live
Yep, 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
All right.
Back to Dumb Crook News, who's
You
the
know-
dumbest of the dumb.
People do dumb things,
Yep.
and we all know that. And that's okay. I mean, it does give us something to talk about. So back in May, a woman in Palm Beach was arrested because what happened was the police were called to a house, and she had gotten into a very heated dispute with the homeowner for services. And I'm thinking maybe, I don't know what kind, it didn't mention it was even kind of weird. It was just, I'm thinking they hired her for like maybe maid service or lawn care or something. And she did not like what they were going to pay her, or maybe they thought she didn't do a good job. It doesn't go into a lot of detail, but it got so bad that neighbors and the people called the cops.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happens when the police show up, they start asking everybody's name, who are you? And they usually say, show me some ID.
Mhm.
Well, she gave her name and they ran her. And it turns out she had an outstanding warrant for her arrest for something. They didn't say what she had done. So they asked her and she confessed to being the person. And so then, as they typically do, place you under arrest, they search you because they're not going to put you in a car with potential
Right.
weapons or whatever. So they ask her, for whatever reason, it leads me to believe the warrant had something to do with drugs based on what I'm about to say, but it doesn't go into detail. So they ask her if she had any drugs on her, and plus officers ask her, they don't want to be stuck by needles. I mean, there's
Right,
a whole
right.
lot of reasons why they'll ask that.
Well,
Nowadays,
you
you
got
got-
any
yeah.
any contraband, any drugs,
Yeah.
machine guns, hand
Yeah.
grenades, or
Yeah.
anything that you shouldn't have on
And
you?
plus, if you got fentanyl, you don't want to touch that too. So I mean,
No,
there's like a lot of reasons.
It's just a
For
easier way to do it.
whatever reason. Now I question why what I'm about to tell you even occurred. And if y'all got a theory, I'd love to hear it. So she said, yeah, I got a bag of pot up inside my vagina.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So they arrested her for the outstanding warrant, for the fight with the people, and the drug possession. Now, let me back up. Okay. She would have had this weed already up in there
Uh-huh.
because she had no time to stuff anything up there waiting for the cops.
Uh-huh.
Who walks around with the bag of marijuana stuffed up their vagina, Rayford? I wanna know.
Any of you ladies out there,
Is this
or
like a thing?
anybody done something like that?
If I have questions, I have major questions.
I would be taking her over there.
I've got
for an
comments, but I'm refraining.
Yeah, I mean,
I would take her over and have her, mentally examined first.
definitely something.
You're under arrest, but we're going
Yeah.
to the hospital.
I just can't even
Yeah.
say what I'd like to say right now. But
I mean, I just, because once again, she went to the house to, you know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. There's like a lot. And the cops probably like, I don't think I want to touch
No,
that.
I ain't going
mean,
there. That's why I say we're going to the
yeah.
hospital. You're
Yeah.
gonna get a
Yeah.
psychological
Yeah.
examination
Yeah.
first of all,
Because-
and then the nurses can figure out
Lord have mercy.
recover the evidence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. And and here's the thing: if she hadn't have said that, unless they planned a strip search her, which I don't know that they
If they
would,
go to the jail,
Yeah.
they will.
then they would have found it then. So I guess she's like, well, I'm just going to beat them to the punch here. I don't know, but yeah. So a man went to dinner at the Dubliner Irish pub in Misner Park in May, and his debit card was declined.
Okay.
So instead of saying, let me call somebody, or here, let me pay with this card instead, or
He decided
whatever.
to fight it out.
he just said he ran out and got into a black Mercedes.
Uh-oh.
He did a couple of things wrong. First thing, he left his debit card at the bar. It's got his name on it.
Guess who I am?
Yeah. So there's that. Second thing, he got in the wrong Mercedes.
I just knew that. I
Uh-oh.
knew that's
Yeah,
what you were going to say.
Yeah. So not only had he skipped out on a bill, he's now stolen a car. Dumb. He got caught for a couple of reasons, but yeah.
Oh gosh.
Now, I do believe this is the dumbest one. I think, Rayford, you asked me, I think I have found it for today.
Okay.
And it took place in Florida in March. Oh, Lord. I just can't. I don't even know how to read this one. Neighbors call the police. Okay. One morning in broad morning daylight, a neighbor looks outside and sees a man having sex with his pit bull in the front yard.
What?
Yes. Upset the neighbors terribly. Yeah.
Imagine.
Probably
yes.
upset the dog too.
Yeah. So, Lord, the neighbors run out there.
Where do you find this crap?
I'm telling you, there's a website I use, and I'm telling you. And the neighbors go out there and like begging him to stop, and he won't. Dogs howling,
Oh,
and the
gosh.
man's like, and the neighbors are upset, and kids are watching, and they call 911. The police come, and the neighbors are trying at this point, almost having to like fight the man to get. It was bad. Yeah, he got arrested.
Introduce him to pepper spray.
Yeah. I mean, Lord have mercy. And broad daylight. In
And-
your front yard, Rayford.
No.
In the front yard.
Oh no.
Like I do believe this is dumb. I believe this is the dumbest of the dumb for today. I might be wrong.
He gets the award.
But
That
wait,
story's the
I
award.
don't know. There's one more, and then
Oh.
yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Okay, God knows. You know, if you were, oh my God, I
This
can't.
is causing anxiety for me.
I just
Well, I'm gonna take a
can't.
break, and you can
Yeah, because
take a deep breath and
whew, I
figure
just
this one
read
out.
this one. Yeah.
You're live and local, real talk. Don't go away. Oh God, you got to stay
That's
tuned
what
for
gets
this one.
done.
We'll be right back. Got a little sad news first before we get to the
last
continued.
crook
No, we
news,
don't
yeah.
want sad news.
Yeah, well, the body of a Greensboro man vacationing with his
Hmm.
family on the Crystal Coast has been found.
Aw.
James Smith, he's an amateur kayaker.
Mhm.
Last heard from about 7 o'clock Wednesday. He had put his 12-foot kayak in the water around 3:30 that afternoon in Boca. The deputies say family members became concerned when Smith had not returned by dark, and the authorities began to search for him. A 58-year-old man's body was found around 8:30 that evening at the end of the Beatty Path Road, whatever, in the North River. He was found next to his overturned kayak.
Wow.
But it was
Wildlife is
raining
investigating. Yeah,
and
I know.
stormy Wednesday
I know.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Why would you get in the water?
I don't know, but
Oh, that's
Sorry
so
to hear
sad.
that.
Yes.
kayaks, people.
Oh, what did,
We're going to have Coast Guard auxiliary in here
Yeah.
next week. They're going to be in,
Yes.
I think, Tuesday. I
Mhm.
forgot which day. Anyway, they're going to be in here talking about safety in kayaks and other
Right.
things like that are one of the things. Kayaks are going to roll over.
Yes, they are.
You're going to flip at some point in time. If you ride one enough,
Mhm.
you're going to flip over. Knowing what to do and how not to get drowned is one thing. Life jacket is what it's called.
Right.
Put the
Yeah.
freaking life jacket on.
yes.
Okay,
Oh my
That's what
word.
it's
they're
as
there
simple
for.
as that.
That's so
Well,
sad.
it's
It is
very,
very
very sad
sad.
story,
Yeah.
but at least the family has some closure now.
Yeah,
This is so preventable though.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
All right,
So
I've
needless.
lied to y'all, but I found the dumbest. I do believe. Okay, and this will be our last one for the day. Broward County, of course, in Florida. So a man got arrested for identity theft, for attempting or filing fraudulent income tax returns that were not his. Okay, now, if you're going to participate in identity theft, there's probably a few rules you need to follow. The one would be you might want to look like the person, especially depending on the type of identity theft you're perpetrating. Okay. Okay. He was arrested for a lot of reasons, but he was easily identified for two reasons. One, he had the Bentley car logo tattooed on his face, which looked nothing like the individual whose identity he had stolen, basically, because who has that on their face? Okay.
He's probably the one and the only.
It gets better. The other way they identified the guy is because he also has a shark tattooed on his face and works at a local shoe store.
Oh, God.
Well, can you identify the person, ma'am?
So, once again, if you are going to commit some kind of identity theft, you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be easily identified. You want to look like the person, especially if you're stealing an ID, that especially if you're going to file income tax returns as somebody. If I'm going to, pretend to be Rayford, I'm going to look like Rayford as best I can. I'm not going to have a shark and the Bentley automobile logo tattooed on. And why the Bentley?
Yeah.
Do you just want to try to be fancy? I'm assuming. I do believe that's the dumbest. I believe this is the dumbest one I've heard in a while. I mean, obviously he's a terrible criminal. So there's that.
Very inexperienced at that.
And I had because this goes back to a conversation I had actually yesterday with a client who is young and wants to get a tattoo. And I was like, fine, if you want to get one, that's fine. But there's a couple places I always tell people not to get tattoos. I say, don't get them on your face and don't get them on your neck because it's going to make you it's going to make it more difficult to find a job.
Right.
Yeah. And in depending on what type of field you're going into, it's really going to hinder you. People won't take you seriously because I don't know how seriously I'm going to take somebody with a shark tattooed on his face.
No, not at all.
Or the Bentley logo for that
that's
matter.
Just like, why?
Yeah. I mean,
I would think it's a joke, one of those, peel off things or something.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't. Yeah. So
well, I'm going to can I give you a dumb crook news local?
Do it.
Up in Greenville.
Okay.
He's got 16 felony charges after deputies say he took pictures of women with a hidden camera.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I will
Eric
fight somebody over
Zobra. is charged with 2 counts of secret peeping, 9 counts of possession of images from secret peeping, disclosure of private images, third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor, larceny by an employee, and 2 counts of violating a domestic violence protective order. Deputies say the case began back in December when they became aware of a domestic violence protective order violation. They arrested the guy back in December.
Mhm.
They say somebody came forward claiming that this dude had been showing various nude photos of women to them, saying how he got them, as well as how he stole items from his employer. Guess who his employer was? Grady White Boats out of Greenville.
No
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Oh my.
After a search warrant, deputies seized a camera and other electronic devices along with suspected stolen items from Grady White.
Mhm.
Found on the devices were photos of women in various stages of undress. Pitt County detectives and those from Atlantic Beach Police were able to identify multiple victims, including an underage girl taken in
no.
bathrooms.
Oh, I'll
Deputies
fight
say they
somebody.
also found numerous photos of Zobra's previous partners, apparently used to humiliate them.
That's
Mm.
illegal
That's,
too.
it's-
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Yes.
separate charge.
Yeah.
Grady White Boats also confirmed items found in the man's house appeared to be stolen from them. He is in the big house. $1.375 million
Yes. There we go.
bond.
Yeah.
North
Now, if-
Carolina, we know how to put you under bond.
If we
That's
can't
right.
give those, now we need to take those type bonds and put them for pedophiles.
Absolutely. Well, this
So-
guy pretty much is a pedophile.
Yeah. Yeah.
One way or the
Hey,
other.
don't mess with us in North Carolina.
No,
We'll lock you up.
Yeah, and keep you there for a long,
That's
long
right.
time.
Good.
You know what the price of the Grady White boat that I won is? Exactly $1.375
Oh
billion.
my. Oh my.
I just found that an interesting set of figures there.
Interesting.
All right, coming up next, got Fox News. Right after that, Chris Rayner's in be in the
Sports
house. I
Talk.
don't know who his guest is today.
Mhm. Sports Talk.
Sports Talk.
Yeah.
Right here live. So hang in there for that. And at 10 o'clock this morning, Rick Dees will be in the house, the Daily Dees. And at 3 this afternoon, kicking off the weekend.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, my buddy.
Hollywood.
Yes.
We got to start singing that song on
Yeah.
Fridays.
Hollywood.
You're live and local, Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Have a great and safe weekend. Don't want to read about you, but I'd like to hear from you on Monday. Have a good day.